Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins.
Come on. You're all a lot more than you know. You got more inside of you to give. Stop selling yourself so short.
That's my mentality. We don't quit, we don't cower, we don't run, we endure and conquer.
We work hard to become our own boss so we can do what we want to do. The ultimate goal is to go to sleep when you want to and wake up when you want to. See, when you don't wake up when you want to, then guess what? Somebody's controlling you. And I don't want to be controlled.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
I want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people.
But that how where you look in the mirror and you're like, I can do more. And you start to see the person that you could be. And you're like, this does start to feel like hell.
I'm gonna win. You're not gonna control me. I'm going to defeat you and everything in front of me. You're just a wall that I have to break through, you know? And if I can't handle this, I don't deserve what I want.
If it's comfortable, you're not forced to adapt to anything new. So therefore, you're not growing anymore, intellectually or physically. You're just going through the motions. Going through the motions is going to be repeat resolutions every single year, guys.
I tell the same thing to anybody, no matter what your field is. If you really want it that bad, you'll make it happen. You know, if you could put aside the distractions of Instagram, TV, you're like, no, I'm gonna go to sleep early today, wake up and do what I gotta do. It just plans out over a period of time, I think.
You're going to find the naysayers in every turn that you make. Don't listen. Just visualize your goal, know exactly where you want to go. Trust yourself. Get out there and work like hell and break some of the rules and never, ever be afraid of failure.
You don't lack vision, you lack depth perception. You think you're further than you are and you keep keeping it in that distance because you think it's so far away. You're one more away.
You know why you can't tell it to everybody? Because if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person.
Because if your why is strong enough, your how will reveal itself. If you know why you want to do something, how it's going to be done, you'll figure out. It doesn't matter. Things are going to get in your way. There's going to be obstacles. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be moments of like, I don't know if I can do this. But if your why is so strong, it's like, I don't care what comes up in front of me. I'm going to get it done.
And for me, I was obsessed. It's one of the things that helped me perform better is I was obsessed by the idea of being the best. I was obsessed.
Nobody's better than you and nobody's smarter than you. If anybody else is at the top of their field, it means that you can be at the top of your field. Just go to them and find out how they got there because they started at the bottom. Now, it may take longer for some people and less for others, but everybody who puts one foot in front of the other and keeps moving eventually gets there.
It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true.
This was one of the most important things. It wasn't about the result. It's the fact that I showed up. The result was just whatever.
I'm just extremely happy. It's been a lot of hard work to get here. We're here now. We're at the top, #1, pound for pound. Ireland reigns supreme.
And I got all my expertise the hard way by screwing up my own life first and then having to figure out how to fix my own life and make it better.
Be at the point of your life where you don't care about being judged. You can be in a room of 1 million people and they all hate you, and you walk in and you go like this.
First step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
I told him, I said, I will finish this. And this goes back to my like almost stupid belief in myself to where I do things that hurt myself because I'm like, I'm not gonna fail. I'm not gonna stop.
Own yourself, walk forward with more courage, and start becoming the man you wanna be instead of acting like it and putting it off.
Be less impressed and more involved.
More involved, yeah.
So you gotta get out there, you gotta give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures.
Just get into the gym, find that, oh man, that mind, the body connection. You're gonna feel invincible. And then when you have that's 95% of the game.
There's 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled. And I think if you're gonna pursue success in your life, you have to decide you're gonna be on a road that most people are not on. And a lot comes with taking that road.
And one of the things that you've got to do is you've got to watch your inner conversation.
and discipline your thinking and your imagination, because if you don't, your mind will take you on a wild trip.
Once you start getting that leverage to where you can be like, yo, mom, dad, look, off for a little bit. Let me grind at what I got going on right now. This is something special and great. Don't ever let somebody let you down. Don't ever let somebody tell you you cannot be something, bro.
You don't get discipline from an external source. You have to get it from you. That's what self-discipline is. You get it from yourself. You get it from you.
Day in and day out, we create the destiny. Champions are never born, guys. They're created. Today, another nail in the structure.
We begin to think that we have no options. We begin to believe that there's no way out. Repeat after me, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I gotta get down on myself for the moment. I learn from it. Now, if I gotta take a goddamn test, you best believe I'm studying for that test, because I don't want the feeling like I'm the guy that didn't prepare.
The one thing that made me who I am today is being vulnerable. It's breaking myself down to the absolute rock bottom and being able to tell people who I am. And that's how I fixed it, literally.
He maintains faith regardless of what's happened to him. And that's really the moral of the story of Job, which is that you are morally obligated to maintain faith no matter what happens to you.
I honestly believe power is an illusion. It's the perception of power is like if it's tense and squeezed, but to me that can be seen a mile away. So I just like to place.
What happens to you when you intentionally spend time doing a rewarding and engaging activity, your time feels less scarce.
People that I know that are the most successful and happy have more uncomfortable conversations.
Agreed.
They have more uncomfortable days. They have more discomfort in their lives.
Yes, totally agree with that.
But selected discomfort. But
the avoidance of pain or the seeking of pleasure leads to a short-term win, but a long-term loss. So what I'm saying is don't let that happen.
Hearing about the challenges that people go through during reinvention helps everybody to feel less incapable of doing it.
I want to own 100% of the suffering I went through in my life. I don't want anybody telling me, hey, Goggins, you can't say this. I would lose my What I suffered this badly, and you gonna tell me I can't say this?
you don't start to trust yourself or build self-esteem or believe in yourself because you just say it to yourself. It's coming what you just said. You go out there and take one more meeting and see what you learn. You go out there and take one more risk, one more discomfort.
It doesn't work that way, guys. If you want different results, you gotta do something different type of action, different plan of attack to achieve those goals. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with the same shit every single time, unless you guys change it.
Just want to say that I'm feel happy. All this happened because the reason is I'm unbelievable inside the pitch. This is why the people have so much interest on me.
If you're not motivated to do something, pretend that you are. Fake it. Because false motivation is better than no motivation.
My mama said, hold your head up. I said, Mama, I just feel so bad about this, Mama. She said, hold your head up and dry your tears. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And I did.
It's like 3 years from now, you can have what you need. You got to be careful about it. You can't have everything. You can have what would be good for you, but you have to figure out what it is, and then you have to aim at it.
I'm a firm believer that God redirects and maneuvers us when he has us on a mission, right? And in the redirection, I think true courage is the ability to embrace what we don't understand.
If I want to be great, I'm not trying to maximize money or maximize people knowing me. I do these things because maybe someone out there will understand me and get it and say, I can grow from this guy.
Without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions. With your name, this is your choice. You wanna put your name there? Okay, work hard. No? Bye-bye.
But there should be very few things that drive you to become emotional.
Like, if you're getting road rage, you got issues. If you're getting mad because the girl in front of you in the grocery store is taking too long, you got issues.
It always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
I could have been great.
It always comes back to perseverance, persistence, high pain tolerance, an ability to suffer through discomfort, a welcoming of doing hard things, and willingness, really.
I find time when it's important. And there's something about getting really disciplined and excited about doing something for yourself, even though you're super busy, that does spill out into the other areas of your life.
All of my reinventions and the changes that I've made in my life, I didn't do them willingly. I did them because I was in so much pain that I was boxed into a corner and felt like the only way out was through.
When I started to give myself the gift of joy in my home, in my life, in my emotions on a daily basis, I actually found I had more energy to pursue the achievements that I wanted in my life. And I wasn't so damn tired every time I finally got to one of these artificial finish lines.
My philosophy is, why be normal when you can be the best? I don't want to be normal. I want to make the difference. So everything I do, I want to make the difference. Because when I make the difference, I'm the best. And that is not arrogance, that is confidence for me.
Being in the military does not make you a disciplined person. Being from a disciplined family does not make you a disciplined person. Being in a disciplined group does not make you a disciplined person. What makes you a disciplined person is choosing to be disciplined.
But a huge part of the reason that people fail is because they don't ever set up the criteria for success. And so since success is a very narrow line and very unlikely, the probability that you're going to stumble on it randomly is zero.
And that is a willingness to start over. And a lot of people just don't have that. They become successful, or they become rich, or they become famous, and that's it, they're stuck. They don't want to go back to zero. And creating anything great requires 0 to 1, and that means you go back to 0. And that's really painful and hard to do.
I think motivation's garbage. I mean, and I always thought that was funny, given that I was a motivational speaker for a long time. And here I think it's garbage. And the reason why I think motivation is garbage is because it's not there when you need it.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, find the silver lining, and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear.
Second guessing yourself about whether or not you're fully prepared in the weeks and months up to something, sure, that's great. Push yourself hard. But in that moment of execution, to be able to clear your mind and execute with confidence, I think it's a really powerful tactic to
So, you know, a lot of people come up here and start talking to you and they think they have all the damn answers and shit. And they kind of talk down on people. No. I know exactly what it feels like to be lost, to want to quit every day of your life. And that's kind of what created me.
In sobriety, they say, don't leave before the miracle. And I take that as a lesson in persistence. Whatever it is that you're pursuing to achieve or create or express in the world, I think a lot of people back out before that happens.
I would say, be more humble and you'll be more confident.
Yeah. I like that idea that unconfidence comes from you positioning your level of expertise higher than it actually is.
The past we can't change, but we can be fully present to say, okay, what am I going to get? If this has happened, how can I grow from this? And that's accountability. That's accountability.
So I think inevitably our suffering is when we have expectations or desires or ideas about what reality or I am or you are, and they're disrupted. And we suffer the burden of reality not looking as if we imagined it to look.
The reasonable first step to figuring out who we are is let's define who we're not. Let's pick out those people, places, things we do, habits we have that don't pay us back, that don't feed us tomorrow, that don't give us green lights in the future.
You win the lottery and you get all this money. You're not rich. You're just about 5 months away from being poor again because you don't understand the concept of it all. You have to go through the trial and error of life, like Sam's talking about, that he's going through right now, to find out what you're made of.
and I promise you, every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends.
Here's a question. Do you want to win or not? Do you want to win or not? Do you want to let other people control you? Do you want to let other people control you? Because if they can make you angry, they're controlling you. Do you want to be weak? Because this is a weakness. It's a weakness.
See, success is not just defined with financial success. Success to me is defined with peace of mind. Like, I want to have money. I want to have peace of mind. I want to know that my wife and my kids love and respect me. I want to know that I respect myself, and so I keep myself mentally, physically, and emotionally fit. That to me is success.
But being 10 years old and having little, but being happy and being loved insane, and now a 10-year-old me realizes that money has no impact on happiness, I was built to win. I was built to win, and so I agree with you. I see it in so many of my friends. I always say, the two ways to build something insane is deep, deep insecurity turned into fuel, or deep, deep, deep levels of confidence turned into fuel.
You just do the work and you get there. The human mind, the human body, the human psyche is so pliable. You can literally become anyone and anything. Multiply that over time and experience, and don't quit even when it sucks. But I share this because the doubt of 1,000 people on me is less dangerous than if I had self-doubt. Like, my one self-doubt in myself is more dangerous than 1,000 people doubting my ability to build that franchise, Spit Body Bootcamp, and ultimately, have a big exit. And so the conversation, the most important conversation you could ever have is that conversation that takes place between your ears, right? With yourself.
Thank you, God, for giving me the chance to grow. Because there's nothing worse in life than not being challenged, not having that anxiety, that fear factor. What if I lose? What if I don't? That moment is life.
Want to improve your quality of life? The easiest and best way to do that is to observe your own mind and your own thoughts, and be a little, not necessarily critical, but be observant of yourself more objectively.
Consistency of work. Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
Change the junk food that you're eating. Change the time that you wake up. Change what you do when you get out of bed. Change what you do with your time. That's what you need to do.
Vulnerability is saying your truth in spite of the consequences, especially when they're scary.
Oh, see, that sounds fun.
Get on board with that.
That sounds fun. That's a different kind of surrender.
You say what's true.
You're not living life to the fullest. Like, you are missing out on so much. And I hope that people can watch this and realize that you are worth that meant to life rather than that supposed to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope people can pursue their meant to eventually.
Yeah.
This very slow curve until it asymptotes up. And everyone wants to talk about the pivot moment when it goes skyward. But the truth is, the real work is in the drudgery.
Correct.
And the difficult, anonymous work of shoveling every single day.
It's exciting when you win, it's exciting when you lose, because the process should be exactly the same. Whether you win or you lose, is you go back and you look and you find things that you could have done better. You find things that you've done well that worked, figure out how did they work, why did they work, how can you make them work again?
Yeah.
And but the hardest thing is to face that stuff.
Well, courage isn't based on security if there's no risk. So your notion is you'll be courageous when there's zero risk. Well, obviously that's a contradiction in terms. You're only courageous if there's a risk.
I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's gonna have to fucking try.
You have no idea how much energy you are burning through thinking about, worrying about, obsessing about what other people are doing, what they're not doing, what they're feeling, all of which you have zero control over.
What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
Me and he said, fame doesn't change you, just changes everybody around you.
Yeah.
And that's when you're on your way up, everyone roots for you because you remind them of their dreams. When you're at the top, everyone tears you down because you remind them that they gave up on them. That really, that spoke to me.
I think it's very important to keep that in mind, right? Because in most cases, what made you walk away was just the short-term pleasure, or at a minimum, the short-term avoidance of pain. Yeah. One of those two.
The boredom of normalcy and the numbness of mediocrity stiffens your passions. The boredom of normalcy and the numbness of mediocrity stiffens your passion.
Just because you're busy, it doesn't mean you're being productive. Those two things are not synonymous. So often people think leaders keep adding. No, you know what good leaders do? And this is what, again, I've learned. They take out of that bathtub. They take out, what can I do less of so I can be exceptional at the other things I do?
It's not my fault. Now I gotta go back and fix this shit though. So a lot of this isn't your fault, why you do some things you do, why you feel the way you feel. But no one's coming back to save your ass. You have to go back to where the shit started, wherever that place is for everybody, and have the courage to go back there and start fixing what broke you.
And when we don't do them, it becomes 0 times 100 or 0 times 1,000. And that nets out to a 0. When you do anything, it adds up. When you do nothing, it amounts to 0.
Unwavering faith. Like, it don't matter how f***ed up that shit might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work.
Delusional.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works.
I learned later that almost every great venture begins with an act of faith, like driving into the dark, into the unknown. In a way, nature protects us by shielding us from knowledge of the difficulties and obstacles that lie ahead. Because if we really knew all the problems we would face, the setbacks, the suffering, the temporary failure, and the disappointments, many of us would hesitate about ever even starting out at all. And
the jealousy, frustration, feeling anger, anytime those emotions come up in my body, it's just a directional signal from deep inside of you telling you you're supposed to pivot. Like, do not head in the same direction. Do not keep going the same speed. Make a change.
So many people out there are doing that type of work, that exist, men and women in these places that are breaking down barriers, that are chipping away. It's like Shawshank Redemption, grab rock at a time, gravel at a time, eventually that hole's gonna be open, eventually it's gonna be open, but just chipping away.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. You're supposed to get knocked down a couple times. You're supposed to lose. That's how you learn. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. You have to experience imperfection at some point to go, now I'm perfect. And that's what people don't realize.
The game you're playing is not success. The game you're playing is not money. The only thing that matters in life is what you think about yourself when you're by yourself and have nothing but your own thoughts. If in that moment you feel good about who you are, who you're becoming, what you're capable of, and what you're willing to do to make a better future for yourself, those you care about, and other people around you, you will love your life.
If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing,
right? Clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, if you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency.
You can't be allergic to hard work, right? You can't. And I have this saying at the project, I say, look for balance, and savages go all in on whatever they're doing. And that is very true. Like, you can't be allergic to hard work. In this life, we have to make money. In this life, if you want the body, you have to eat right, you have to be fit. In this life, if you want a meaningful relationship, you have to put in the work in that relationship. In this life, if you want to be a great leader, then you better develop your ability to have vision, your ability to be decisive, to communicate clearly, and of course, to build a high-performing team. Those are the core tenets of great leadership, right? Like, hard work is what produces the outcome. However, we've gotten so comfortable, complacent, and seeking out convenience all the time that, again, we've become allergic to hard work. And when you become allergic to hard work, you start calling for balance. Only have balance.
My name is Kobe Bryant, 17 years old. I wasn't invited to parties or friendly gatherings on the weekend. So on Fridays and Saturdays, I would go in my rec room with my basketball and basically dribble myself to sleep. And I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Because during those lonely hours in the rec room, I discovered the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I could be.
The dumb shit that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You learn. Like, that's why failure is so important. Like, failing and f***ing up and making mistakes, it's very important. That's how you learn. The bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better, like especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a loser, like that just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together.
Chill. Just chill. Continue to have fun. Now, by fun, I'm not recommending you go out, drink your brains out at the bar and do something stupid, but my goodness, go hunting, go fishing, get a mountain bike, go hiking, go to the gym, go hang out around a barbecue fire with friends and just act silly and act goofy and be your age. Be your age and just embrace the process.
Man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that.
Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. Boy, that never goes out of style, does it? I mean, think about it. If you're gonna do something, if you've chosen to do something, whatever it is, easy, hard, if you give it your all and you don't half-ass it, win, lose, draw, get what you want, don't get what you want, whatever the outcome is, if you don't half-ass it, at least you're not gonna have to wonder, oh, would the outcome have been different? What if I did give it my all? And boy, wondering that is what keeps us up at night.
How it's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. Like, there's so many people that struggle with what their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's, right? And when you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, your shit is never gonna be right. It's never gonna be right.